Hello friends, today we will see basic information about cement. In that we will cover following points. First of all, history of cement, then raw materials for production of cement, then composition of cement and their properties, then field test of cement for civil engineers. Okay, and if time permits we will also see the production process of the cement. So regarding history of cement, John Smeaton was the first non-civil engineer who built Eddystone Lighthouse Tower in 1756. Okay, and he used binding material as lime plus high degree of clay matter. Okay, ultimately, such as lime was used along with the pozzolana in equal quantities. Okay, now Eddystone Lighthouse Tower is completed in 1759, but now it is no more there. Okay, it has been transferred in 1882 stone by stone to Plymouth, where it is still be the most major landmark. Okay, it has been transferred stone by stone or moved. Then regarding Portland cement, L.G. Wyckoff was the principal foreigner to the Portland cement. He prepared hydraulic lime by calcination, an intimate mixture of limestone and clay. Calcination means burning. Okay, then cement has gone into three phases. That is, first phase is proto, then meso, and then now currently which are using that is nothing but normal Portland cement. Okay, so in 1824 Joseph Aspardon, okay, while obtaining a patent of his hydraulic cement, termed it as a Portland cement. Okay, upon Portland cement stone, which had a high quality and durability and a similar appearance in UK. Okay, so that's why its name is termed as Portland, that is proto Portland cement. Okay, then later his son Williams Aspardon also improved some of the qualities or properties of the Portland cement. He used a kiln for burning of a mixture. Okay, then comparison of Portland clinkers then and now means Aspardon clinker and modern clinker. Some parameters are given here and comparison is made like relative burning rate, alite size. Alite means C3S and belite means C2S. Okay, alite means C3S and belite means C2S. C3S and C2S are nothing but the bogies compounds that I will cover in the later slides. Okay, then cooling rate. Okay, now raw materials required for cement. So in that first major material is calcareous material and argillous material. Okay, calcareous material we are getting means calcareous material contains CaCO3. From that we are getting limestone. Okay, and argillous material, from the argillous material is nothing but clay matter, and from that we are getting SiO2 and AlO23. Okay, this is the aluminum oxide. Then gypsum is added at the final stages for as a set regulator. Means we are, if you want to control the setting time, then we are adding gypsum in the mixture. Then ground limestone or even fly ash is also added to the cement in various quantities. Whereas IS permits us 5%. Now regarding cement, cement is a typically made up of calcareous and argillous material and other substances. So ingredients of cement and their property. So here the typical composition or typical percentage of ingredients present in the cement are given. So maximum percentages of CaO, that is lime. SiO2 is nothing but silica. Then Al2O3, that is nothing but alumina, which is present 3 to 8%. So here percentages are given, you can read easily. Then so first and the major component in the or composition of major component in the cement is, that is nothing but lime, which covers around 60 to 67%. Lime, that is nothing but chemical composition is CaO. Okay, 60 to 70% that covers. Then adequate, if adequate quantity of lime in cement is helpful to produce silicates and aluminates of calcium. silicates are used for to getting the strength, and aluminates are used for setting properties. Okay, it controls the setting property of the cement. And if lime is added in excess quantity to the cement, it becomes unsound. And if the lime content is lower than the minimum requirement, means whatever required quantity is there, if you are adding lesser than that, then this it will affect the strength of the cement, and it will also reduce the setting time of the cement. So mainly lime gives the binding property to the cement. So next component, second largest component is SiO2, that is silica. Its percentage is about 17 to 18%, 17 to 25%, sorry. So silica can be obtained from sand, argillaceous, or etc., rock, etc. Sufficient quantity of silica helps for the formation of dicalcium and trisilicates, which imparts the strength to the cement. Means silicates are giving strength to the cement. Means strength property is getting by silica only. Okay, then if excess silica in the cement will increase the strength of the cement, but at the same time setting time of the cement is also increased. Means it will set earlier, or it gives strength earlier. Then alumina forms a complex compound with the silica and calcium. Mainly it controls the setting property of the cement. If large quantity of alumina present, then it weakens the setting time but weakens the cement. Means if the quantity of alumina is high as per requirement, then it will set the cement in less time, but at the same time cement will become weak. Means it will not have a much strength. Okay, then fourth component is iron oxide. It mainly controls the color property of the cement, and its percentage is in the range of 0.5 to 6%. If more than this percentage is in the cement, then it becomes the cement unsound. Means unnecessary expansion will occur in the cement. So to avoid, its percentage is limited up to 0.5 to 6%. It should not go beyond the 6%. So it controls the color property. Magnesia. Again, magnesia also imparts the strength to the cement when mixed in a small quantity. The magnesium content also should not exceed 6% by mass, otherwise it will make a cement unsound. Sulfur. It is again oxide. Its quantity is about 1 to 3%, and its main function to make the cement sound. If it is in the excess quantity, cement will become again unsound. Unsound means cement will become unnecessarily expand. It expands, unnecessarily expands. Following instruments are used to find out the chemical composition of the cement. So first one is spectrometer, second one is X-ray spectrometer, and electron microscope. These instruments are used to find out the composition of the cement. Now we'll see field test of the cement for civil engineers. In that, first one is date of manufacturing. Okay, it should not be older than 3 months. After 3 months, the strength of the if you are using cement which is older than 3 months, okay, then its strength is reduced by around 20%, and beyond that also it may reduce, but we have to take all the test of cement before it is using. Okay, the next test is cement color. The color of cement should be uniform, and it should be typically cement color should be gray color with light greenish shade. Then whether hard lumps are formed. Cement should be free from hard lumps. Such lumps are formed by the absorption of moisture from the atmosphere. Means whenever we open the cement bag, we should not found any hard lumps. Okay, otherwise we can understand that already hydration process is started, and it is due to the moisture present in the atmosphere. So temperature inside the cement bag, if the hand is plugged into the bag of cement, it should be cool, and cool inside the cement bag. Means if we pour our hand into the bag, we should feel cool. Okay, if we feel warm, then we can understand that hydration process is already started. A smoothness test. Okay, Then next one test is smoothness. When cement is touched or rubbed into the between fingers, it should give smooth feeling. If it is felt rough, it indicates that means proper grinding is has been not done. Okay, so cement should be, we should feel smooth. Water sinking test. If a small quantity of cement is thrown into the water, it should float for some time before finally sinking. It should not sink like a stone. If we throw stone into the water, stone will directly sink into the water. So it should not happen with the cement. It should float for some time. Now raw material sources means our primary material required is calcium, silicon and aluminum, iron. Okay, and those are getting from these sources. So calcium we can obtain through limestone, marls, calcite. Okay, so these are the sources through which we are obtaining these raw materials. So these are the primary sources from where we are getting the raw material of the cement. Now we will see cement production. Okay, this diagram looks complicated, but it is not complicated as it looks. Okay, so in here we are seeing on the left hand side limestone quarry. From here, with the help of excavator or any pokeland, we excavate here, and large limestones are filled into the dumper, and with the help of dumper we transport that limestones to the factory site. And on the factory site, those big limestones are carried out on the with the help of excavator belts to the primary crusher, where it is crushed. Okay, and made them into the smaller sizes. Then again, with the help of excavator belt, we are sending them into the secondary crusher, where we are making them as a fine ground limestone. Then it is sent to the grinding mill, and with proper proportioning of sand and clay. Here proper proportioning is done, and then total mixture will be sent to the grinding mill, where it is properly mixed. Okay, then again it is sent to the preheater to remove any moisture present in the mixture. Okay, here we are sending it to the preheater. Okay, then from preheater it is sending to the kiln, horizontal rotatory kiln. From the bottom side you are seeing burning flame is coming. Okay, so here it is burned at high temperature. Okay, then from this kiln clinkers are formed, and those clinkers are again cooled down. Okay, cooled down, and during this cooling, heat is recycled. Means that heat, whatever heat is evolved from this point, it is sent again to the preheater, so that recycling of heat is to be done. Okay, then from here again these clinkers are sent next at proper proportioning with gypsum. Okay, and then it is sent to the uh, cement storage, where from that cement is filled into the bags. Okay, this process I have already written here process. So first point is excavation by pokeland, then transportation by dumpers, then stored into the stack yard. By conveyor belt it's sent to the primary crusher, where we are reducing the size of the boulders. Then say in the secondary crusher to make it fine ground limestone. Then proper proportioning is done with other ingredients like clay and sand. Okay, then it's sent to the grinding mill for proper mixing. Then it is sent to the preheater for removing any moisture present. Okay, by calcining. Sent to the Then it is sent to the rotary kiln for heat at high temperature, formation of clinkers, then cooling of clinker. Gypsum is added into the clinkers, and grinding is done to make powder. Finally, packing unit. This is a typical plant of Laparge in Chhattisgarh. I have taken some pictures. Here limestone is stored in the stack yard. It is sent to by conveyor belt, then preheater, fuel unit, horizontally rotary kiln. Finally, here clinkers are produced. Thank you for patient watching.